That's my Coke, dude.
Coca-Cola. Welcome to A Man's Perspective. Today I'm going to be having a conversation with my good friend Adrian Zambrano. To say that I admire this man's intelligence is an understatement. He is by far the wisest man I know. I go to him for everything that I need. Life's like fun things, serious things, future things. I come to Adrian for everything. He has a master's degree, bachelor's degree. He's very successful in everything. He's very well accomplished. So this is my good friend Adrian. Adrian, say hi to the audience.
Hi. Where's the camera?
Right, your camera's right here. The main
Hi.
camera's over there. Yeah.
Okay.
And then that camera over there is mine.
Yeah. I just look at it as that I pay a lot of attention to having common sense and just common decency. So I'm by no means am I a genius. I just believe in common sense and decency. That's all.
He's humble as well.
No.
Yeah. So right now we're talking about genetic studies. How much did it cost to do that? You did the ancestry or the 23andMe?
I did the ancestry. It was like $100, I think.
Oh, that's not bad, dude.
Yeah. And I was totally blown away by it because I never believed in any of that stuff. But when my results came in, I thought, wow, this is way too much of a coincidence because it nailed the exact town in Mexico where my family is from.
Wow.
So it didn't just say Mexico,
yeah,
but it actually named the town.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So that was like, how would these people know that I'm from the highlands of Jalisco based on my spit? So yeah, that was crazy. And it was, it showed 70% Iberian, which is Spanish, Portuguese, even French. They're still part of the Iberian Peninsula. Spanish, Portuguese, French, and 30% Mexican from the highlands of Jalisco.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yes.
That it narrowed it down to that.
It could have been, they could have said any place in Mexico, northern, central, southern, but no, it named the exact town
wow.
where I'm from. Yeah. So that completely knocked me away. So yeah.
Has it changed the way you view yourself? Like as far as like your strengths, weaknesses, things like that? No,
it's just, I mean, it's good to know where your roots are and where they come from, even though I basically already had a common understanding of where, I come from. I'm Mexican. So Mexicans are a mixture of native Mexican, the Indian, and Spanish, European.
Yeah.
So I just confirmed it. And yeah, that's what we are. That's what you are. That's what I am. That's what she is.
Yeah.
So that's why the Mexican is called the cosmic race, because we're such a diverse being.
I didn't know that it was the cosmic race.
Yeah, la raza cósmica. That's what the Mexican is called, because of the big mixture.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. See, you always, every time I talk to you, you have information that like blows my mind.
Yeah, we're a big mixture because the Spaniard is a big mixture. The Spaniard comes from Arab, Iberian, Celtic, Roman. They're a big mix, and then you have a person that's a big mix, and they come over to Mexico and they mix with the Indians, so that's another mix right there. So that's why they're called the cosmic race.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that about the Spaniards, that they were so. In my mind, I had this notion that the Germans were Germans and the French were French and the English were English. I didn't realize that there was such a big mix.
Yeah, the Spanish have a big mix. Arab, North African, Berber, which is North African, the Romans, because the Romans were there for
everything,
for 500-600 years. They were there, so that's Latin blood, that's Italian blood right there, and the northern part of Spain, they had a lot of Celtic influence, which is the people from Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah.
So that's why in the northern part of Spain you have redheads. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah, the Spaniards are very diverse people too.
Even Neanderthal. Remember you sent me that article about the Basque Spain.
Yeah.
Neanderthal.
Yeah, Neanderthals were spread all over Western Europe. The original caveman.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of Neanderthal sites in northern Spain, by the Pyrenees Mountains.
Dude, how do you know all this?
I just reading. I'm reading, a lifetime of reading. Damn, just random stuff, Yeah.
You're a little bit of a savant in that, like, and I tell you this all the time, like, I'll play a song and you tell me, oh, what year it was released. Like, how do you,
Yeah, that's a little thing that I have. I like whenever a song came out, I remember the year that it came out, and I remember like events that happened that year, kind of to relate it to that song.
yeah, yeah.
Like I remember 1982, Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out, and that's when the Cars were big. David Bowie was big.
That is
Yeah,
insane, dude.
U2 was just coming out
Yeah.
in '82. So yeah, that's how I relate music with movies and with time.
Ah,
Significant
that's the key.
significant events.
Yeah, association. I read association is
Yeah,
the way to remember things.
yeah,
Make an association with something and you have better recollection of it.
yeah.
Man, that's insane, brother. So I want to talk. I want to ask you. I wanted to get your opinion about something. Now that Trump has won the election, how do you feel about where we're heading? Like as a country, as a society, as a
Well, we were definitely headed a wrong way under the previous administration.
yeah, I believe that too. Yeah,
All this extreme left wing progressive ideology. Um, this is the end result of what 4 years of that ideology, and here's the end result: an overwhelming Republican victory. The entire country is red now
yeah, yeah.
because of the extreme views of this past administration. The border, immigration, uh, gender stuff, kids in school with their parents and not letting them know that they're gay, whatever.
Oh yeah, that part crossed to me. That crossed
Yeah.
the line, dude. That crossed a
Yes.
major
Yes.
line.
Men
Like,
competing with women. Yeah.
yeah,
In
that was
sports.
ridiculous too. That was
Yeah.
utterly
So just
ridiculous.
like I said, just common sense stuff, common sense and decency stuff, and that's where they screwed up. And also with security in the country. Um, I know that they meant well and they had good intentions, but it just wasn't, in my opinion, reasonable and kind of naive.
Yeah.
But they meant well. They had good intentions.
Yeah, they wanted to control wages because
Yeah.
wages were spiraling upward crazy fast. So they needed to control wages, and the way to do that is to illegal immigrants. That controls wages. Um, so yeah, they tried to do well, but I think like you said, I think they just didn't do it all the way. It's kind of like Gascon. I remember Gascon and decriminalizing all that stuff, especially the um, the drug stuff.
Yeah.
In 2010, Portugal did that. They decriminalized drugs or personal use drugs. But what they did is instead of going to jail, you got a ticket to go to therapy. You got a ticket to go to counseling. And that was mandatory. It wasn't like, oh, it was your choice. And here, that's the part that we missed here. We didn't force them to go to therapy. We didn't force them to go to counseling. We just said, okay, no, it's dismissed. $50 or whatever it was. So we did the part that Portugal tried, but we failed because we didn't do everything Portugal did.
It's kind of almost like these past 4 years were an experiment.
Yeah, it feels that
Like
way.
just an experiment of let's just see what happens and we'll lay our hands off and just let's see what happens. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
Democrats are
unfortunately,
bad people. I just I think they're naive to the real uh, world and human nature.
yeah, I think maybe not naive, but I do think, like you said, they had the best intentions in mind, and they tried to do radical stuff like let in millions and millions and millions of immigrants, where there should have been a cutoff. There should have been like, okay, we do 2 million a year, let's try 5 million, and then let's see what happens.
That immigration thing is real. It's true.
Yeah, yeah,
On Whittier Boulevard and Paramount Boulevard in Pico, on the four corners of that intersection, I saw four girls there, dressed up as clowns, juggling in the middle of the street, asking for money,
tips. Yeah, yeah.
for tips. And I asked one of them the other day, "Hey, where did you guys come from?" And one of them told me, "Oh, well, we just got here from Honduras like a month or two ago." Whatever.
Yeah, dude. I think a lot of Hondureños came to
Yes.
LA because I've been talking to a lot of males and females that were from Honduras.
Yes.
And they're, where we work, we run into a lot of people every day. And I talk to them just like you do. And like now they're telling me like, oh, we're afraid we're going to get deported. What do you think about that? You think they're going to do the mass deportation thing?
that's a tough one because I know that these people are coming here to get ahead and to to progress and to I mean it's not their fault. They want to come here and they want to work. They want to get ahead, but it's just we got to know who these people are. We have to identify them. We have to know what their background is. We have to know, are they going to assimilate? Are they going to be good, productive citizens?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they going to learn English? Are they going to, what's their background, where they're coming from in their country? We just don't know who all these people are.
Yeah.
We have thousands upon thousands of random people that are here.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's not feasible.
Yeah. And it's crazy how the stuff that they've done, like taking over apartment buildings and stuff. Like,
Yeah, the whole Colorado thing.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Now, there's a saying that goes, one bad apple ruins it for everybody else, and that's true.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of these immigrants are decent, well-to-do, hardworking people that want to be citizens, and they're good for the country. We need them.
Mm-hmm.
But all these other bad apples ruin it for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
And
I'm not anti-immigrant at all by any means, but I am for controlling it and know who they are.
Yeah, because we can't drive wages too low because then people can't survive. And I understand that we need the immigrants for wage control and we need the immigrations because we're not having our birth rate. Our birth rates are horrible. That we need them to assimilate into our culture so that our culture continues to thrive. So I understand that we need them. But I do think, like you said, that we need to have it to make sure that they're going to assimilate, make sure that they're going to benefit society, make sure that they're not going to commit crimes, that they're not going to, pull out more from the system than they provide for the system.
That's right.
Yeah, so.
The other day I went to the rescue mission in downtown LA on St. Peter Street. And I dropped off a homeless lady with her daughter there for shelter. And I was talking to the people that work there, and they told me that the majority of the people that are in the shelter are migrants from Venezuela, Honduras, and Ecuador.
Wow.
They're women and children.
Yeah, wow.
That had just gotten there. They were dropped off in Union Station, and they came from Texas, and now they're there at the mission. Yes, that's what they told me. I'm not making this up. They told me that they came from Texas in buses, were dropped off the Union Rescue Mission, and then they ended up there at the Midnight Mission shelter.
I mean, you can't say Texas because they received the bulk of the people. They received billions and millions. Yeah. And if all we're getting is 200,000-300,000, like that's nothing compared to what they got. And
they're there for unlimited time. They can be there for as long. They couldn't give me a direct answer on how long they can stay there, but they said that some have been there for months, and that their kids are picked up from school in a bus right in front of there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
see, well, that's the benefit of our society, that we value education.
Yeah.
And that we're willing to teach even immigrants. Yeah.
So but how much longer is this sustainable though?
It's not.
When is the bubble going to burst here?
Yeah, like I tell people, imagine if 100% of your budget went to paying off one credit card, like how long could you survive? And that's where we're at right now. We're just paying off one credit card. Yeah. Each city, like at New York, the mayor said that they're almost bankrupt because of the immigration problem. Yeah. I know Chicago's struggling. Yeah, LA hasn't really said anything. But
how about the citizens that are actual U.S. citizens that are homeless? And there's no room for them because you have migrants that are homeless taking over.
Tough one. Yeah, it's such a difficult discussion because like most of my family came over here illegally.
Yeah, my dad came over illegally too.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard because like my heart goes out to them. I feel for them because I benefited from that illegal migration, but then at the same time, like I can see how they're going to be a drain. We can only support them for a short term. We can't support them in the long run.
Right.
Not this many.
No. We're talking about, this was 50, 60 years ago when our parents came in. Times were different back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Now times are different now. You got to regulate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we do 2 million immigrants every year. That's what the United States allows in, 2 million a year on average.
Wow. Like I said, I'm all for it. Let whoever wants to come in, prove that they're going to be good citizens. We know who they are. They're going to produce, they're going to work, be tax-paying, voting citizens or residents, and welcome to the United States,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that that there's an optimism in the air now that Trump is president? Because I see the optimism in the stock market.
Oh,
My stocks,
absolutely.
they went through the roof.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially among us that were cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of feel relieved.
Yeah,
Um,
tremendously.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the stock market actually, yeah, showed it. But amongst Democrats and liberals and
They're
progressives,
struggling.
oh yeah, this is very hard for them.
You know, I saw a map that I wanted to verify. I haven't been able to verify it, but I saw a map of California, city by city, what they vote, and when you put them red or blue, like most of California is red.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I don't know how we're so liberal or democratic if most of the cities that vote are red.
Because I get the biggest concentration is here in LA, and
Yeah, that's where it was
that's
blue.
what it
LA
is.
was blue.
The
San
biggest
Francisco was
concentration. Yep.
blue. The biggest concentrations,
Mhm.
yeah.
So that's what it is. The huge concentrations here of liberals and Democrats here in LA.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How a couple cities could have an impact on the whole state.
Hmm.
Like San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento. A
Yeah.
handful of cities, and they have the biggest impact on the whole state.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. So, what else should we talk about? What else can we talk about?
Retirement?
That's boring,
No,
dude.
boring.
That's
Okay.
boring.
Mhm.
I know everyone out there wants to hear about the action and the fights and the sequences, the running to chase sequences. And we're like, we've already done that a
We're
long
checked
time
out.
ago.
We're
Yeah.
over it. Over it.
Yeah. First of all, my body can't do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Over
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I could probably chase somebody from here to the door. And then after that, like contain.
Hmm.
So, but what about life? How do you feel about life in general now?
I feel optimistic. Life is good and wonderful for the most part, and there's going to be days in life where it's horrible, and that's life.
Yeah.
You have days that are absolutely horrible, and you go through a horrible time, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always going to be a good day.
Is that what you focus on? How do you get through your bad days?
I get through my bad days by telling myself there's going to be other good days.
That's good.
And that's what I tell people when I meet in the street and that are in crisis situations. I tell them, I know what you're going through right now is horrible, but whatever it is that you're going through right now, you don't die from it. And tomorrow or the day after or next week or next month, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So this will pass.
Yeah. I tell people 6 weeks. Most problems will fix themselves in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Whether it be a mental, physical, financial, emotional. Most problems, 6 weeks is the most. But in 6 weeks, almost everything will resolve itself.
Yes.
You just got to wait it out. Keep looking at the light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. And I think people, for the most part, are good people, or
Oh yeah,
people
dude.
in general are kind.
Yeah, I agree that too.
Yeah.
I think well I think genetically we're predispositioned to be good with each other because that's how we've survived. You know, we survive by cooperation. We don't survive by like what's that one guy the whole evolution thing, Darwin? Like only the strong survive.
Mhm.
I think there are parts of that, but I think a majority of the time we survive because we cooperate. And we see it in chimpanzees. It's not the big, strong alpha chimpanzee that rules. It's the other chimpanzees that kind of vote that one in. And once they don't like them, they just stop. They ignore them, move away, and they pick a new leader. So it's not, and the one that they pick is always the one that can resolve problems the easiest without violence, without just by however they communicate with each other. The problem
Yeah.
solver is the one that always gets voted into the position of power, of alpha, of leader of the tribe. And I think humans are that way too. We don't want to fight each other. You know, what do we gain? What do I gain by breaking my hand? What do I gain by breaking my leg? I'm down for months.
Yeah.
Whereas if I can cooperate with you and we can just come an agreement and we can move forward, now we're both hunting, now we're both winning, now we're both gaining, now we're both feeding our families. So yeah, I believe that genetically we're predispositioned to work with each other.
Yeah. I'd agree with you too. I mean, there's philosophers out there that would come with a different opinion. Like I was reading Thomas Hobbes the other day,
Mhm.
and he's one of the great philosophers from the 1600s, 1700s, I forget. But he was saying that if two men want the same thing and they can't come to an agreement about getting it, there will be wars.
Yeah.
And what he said 300 years ago, I mean, is still happening now.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the there always has to be a resolution. That's
Yeah.
the messed up part. People don't realize there always has to be a resolution, and we always want to go with words first. We always want to go with cooperation first, but sometimes someone's got to eat. Someone's got to take that deer that was just went down. Someone's got to take it home with them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, men, we're strong. We're broad. And we have a proclivity. Not that we're all violent, but we have a tendency to, or the ability to be violent.
Yes.
As long as we have it in our mind that it's for a good reason, we can generally overcome the violence that we commit to on other people.
Yes. Especially us as cops. The first thing you have to ask yourself for a person that was thinking about being a cop or that they're interested in the profession, you have to ask yourself if you are capable of violence. Because as good as cops are and as good as human beings that we are still capable of violence.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Because it can be an ugly world. And
before I became a cop, one of my life mentors told me, you got to answer this question. You're behind a wall, and on the other side of the wall, you see that your mom is about to kill somebody. The only way to stop her from killing somebody is to kill your mom. What would you do? What's the right thing to do? Maybe not what would you do, but what's the right thing to do in that scenario? And so I answered it wrong, but according to my mentor at the time, he was a philosophy major he was working on his doctorate in philosophy at Biola University. And he told me, well, the right thing to do is to value human life first. And if you have to commit violence and destruction upon someone else to save human life, then that's the right thing to do.
That's right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I answered it wrong because it's my mom. But yeah, I had to come to grips with that. I had to come to grips that, there are times in our lives, especially as cops, that we're going to have to commit a violent act upon somebody in order to take them into custody or to stop them from committing a violent act. And we have to be able to do that, and not be fazed by it or held back emotionally because of it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that was a very good, and I try to share that with other people that are barely coming into law enforcement too. That, hey, you got to answer this question, and you have to come to grips with the answer in your mind.
Yeah. For me, I've always dealt with that question and that issue. This is how I justify it for myself. If I had to use deadly force ever in my line of duty, I use deadly force in order to stop the threat and to change the behavior.
Yeah.
I don't do it to kill somebody. I do it to change the behavior and to stop the threat at that moment. And if that person happens to die, whatever, for whatever reason, then they died. But I never had the intention of killing somebody.
Yeah.
Just stopping the threat, changing that behavior.
And people don't realize that, like they say, why can't we shoot them in the hands or in the legs? Our bodies don't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
We get tunnel vision and we can only see big pieces. That's like when we shoot for the torso because it's the biggest part of the body. Let me change the mic a little bit because I want to make sure it picks up everything you say. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. We can't shoot. People don't realize the biological function of getting into adrenaline-filled incidents. You get the tunnel vision, you lose your hearing, you lose fine motor skills. You have to go with, they train us to use gross motor movements. That's like when we stand up straight and don't try to be all super commando down. We just stand up, a gun up, look at what we're shooting at, and pull the trigger. Breathe, pull the trigger.
That tunnel vision stuff is real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lose. Yeah, you just lose all your concentration and your breathing's off and your sight's off.
Yeah.
And chances are we're probably going to miss.
Yeah, well, the FBI statistics show that we miss most of the time.
Yeah.
But the bad guys miss too. So
yeah.
And most of the time, the shootings are about, the distance of a hood of a car.
Mm-hmm.
And they miss. Most of the time, they miss each other, the cops and the bad guys, because of that tunnel vision.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah. So what else would you tell people wanting to come into law enforcement? Because right now it seems that no one wants to be a cop.
I would tell them that it can be a very rewarding career, in the sense that you make friends with your partners, and you do good for the community. If your heart is really into it, you can help people.
Yeah.
You can make a positive impact on youngsters and people by helping them.
Yeah.
And the thing that I enjoyed most about my career was participating in the sports in the department. I really had a great time. I played soccer for the sheriff department team for 15 years, traveled all over the country, playing against other cops, played in the world games against other countries.
Wow.
So that was fun, just playing soccer all those years and running Baker to Vegas too, competing. So
Yeah, there's a whole community in law enforcement. There's a whole, like, because of our busy schedules, because of the stress, because a lot of people, because our humor is kind of crude and rough, and there's a whole inside community where we engage with one another, like you said, to do sports, tennis, soccer. We have a football team too. So yeah, I appreciate that. I enjoy that too. I did Baker Vegas for a lot of years.
that and we're paid well. Bottom line is we make pretty good, decent. We're not wealthy or rich by any means, but we get paid okay, and our retirement is fair.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I tell people 80,000 a year to start.
yeah,
That's not bad. 80,000 a year to start.
mm-hmm. And our pensions are very good.
You can live very comfortably on that.
So yeah, the money's okay.
Yeah, I think it's a career field that people should. Because I tell people, if you don't like it, you can always quit. You can always go back to what you're doing before, but I promise you that you're not going to want to quit.
Yeah.
Once you get used to that lifestyle, once you get used to the resources that are available to you within the department and outside of the department, you're gonna be committed to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because it is a good lifestyle.
It is. This job has provided me with a home, with cars, with trips all over the world, and with private school for my kids.
Yeah.
So
yeah, me too. I live a life that when I was in my teens, I grew up poor. I grew up on welfare. And in my teens, I didn't think getting out of that pit hole was like an impossibility. And law enforcement helped me to get out of there. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to my department, to where I work, to what I do. Yeah, I'm tremendously grateful.
Yeah, now that I'm towards the last 2-3 years, now I can see the finish line. And now that I'm at the finish line, close to it, I dedicate myself every day to try to do something good and help somebody.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make up for all the times in the past where I wasn't helpful as a cop. And I was just...
And I don't think that's bad intentions.
Yeah.
Because there are times, man, I remember being so busy, getting so just inundated with reports where you don't have time to go to that extra measure. You don't have time to, let me pat you on the back and tell you everything's going to be okay. Because you already got 2 other calls waiting. You're trying to handle this. And you got 2 calls waiting. You got 2 other reports coming, and you're just trying to get to them. You got 2 hours left on your shift and you're just trying to get to them. So yeah, I don't think cops do that with malice in their hearts. We get so busy sometimes where, especially in the beginning of our career, because a lot is expected of us in the beginning of our career. You just get so busy, and then you're tired because you got to go to court. Everyone starts off on early mornings, and then you go to court, so you're just exhausted. You're beat, and I don't think. Yes, we're not as compassionate as we should be initially, but it's not because we're bad people. It's just because people don't understand how busy we are. Everything they see on TV is all the running and the splashing and they don't see that. Yeah, that's 10, 15 minutes. And then the 3 hours of report writing afterwards of booking evidence, of booking bodies, of making sure notifications and writing the report, all this stuff that has to be done. So yeah, people don't realize that there's a lot behind those 10, 15 minutes of fame or fun, whatever you want to call it.
So right now, like I said earlier, right now I dedicate myself to trying to genuinely help somebody to completion, whether it is give them a ride, take them somewhere. The other day I even gave somebody $5.
Yeah, yeah.
Go get something to eat. Here you go.
Yeah, we've all done
Yeah.
that. I've seen every cop buy someone
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy someone some food, some water. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've seen everybody do that. So what's now that you're towards the end, like what are you gonna do afterwards? What are your plans afterwards?
My plans afterward are to work out every day, to ride my bicycle, to play tennis, to get back into playing soccer, and eating healthy, learning how to cook, maybe going back to school to work on a doctorate. I was actually thinking about buying a little trailer with to sell coffee.
That's right. You give me that.
To sell
You told me
coffee.
about your idea, yeah.
A little trailer to sell coffee as a hobby.
Yeah.
And I was going to name it the 10 and Green Coffee Bean.
That's funny.
And to sell cappuccinos, lattes, baked croissants.
I sent you a picture of them. Remember I told you I sent you a picture of that dude pulling around his little coffee shop. It was a tiny little box, but he had a whole menu and everything.
I'd like to do that as a hobby. Sell coffee, cappuccinos, lattes, good quality coffee.
Yeah.
That maybe go into school administration or teach or something.
I remember you telling me that you used to teach. Was it a hard transition to go from teaching to law enforcement?
No, it wasn't at all. I taught for 5 years and that wasn't fulfilling. So this was more fulfilling. Yeah.
Okay, good. Has teaching, because it seems to me that teachers are way more progressive now, way more liberal now than ever before. With all the nonsense, and I know online is a small part of our society, but it's the most shown part. So has teaching changed that much? Like,
well, teachers for the most part do tend to be progressive liberals, but that's just how they are. Look at yesterday what happened in Moreno Valley. That one teacher that went on a rant about Trump in class, and he got relieved.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's all over the news.
Oh shoot, I didn't see that.
A high school teacher in Moreno Valley went on a rant about Trump in his class, what a evil, bad person he is. And I guess some kids took offense to it, and now he's relieved.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Teach, dude. Like,
yeah.
Why are your personal philosophies, your personal ideologies coming into this? And just teach them, man. Teach them social studies. Why are you trying to teach all this other nonsense of what you believe?
Yes.
And you know what? That is dangerous, though. Like, you're in control of all these kids, and you can inject ideas into them that maybe can radicalize them.
Yeah. So that definitely teachers have to draw the line and know the limit on to keep their political views out of what they're teaching.
But is it possible? Is it reasonable?
No, it's human nature, and nobody's perfect. Everybody has their imperfections. And
can we legislate that away? Human imperfections?
That'd be good. That'd be cool if we could, yeah.
But do you think we can?
Sure, why not? Make it illegal to talk about politics in the classroom.
But isn't there classes of politics? Isn't there?
There is. So that's kind of a tough one. Yeah, there is. Mm-hmm.
And at some point in time,
I guess you just got to let everybody choose what they want to choose in life and what direction they want to go to. That's why this is a free country. So you want to be a left-wing progressive radical? It's a free country to do so.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. You're not a bad person, but you disagree with how I feel, and I disagree with you, and that's that. It's a free country, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I was that way when I was younger. I remember when I first came into law enforcement, I thought I believe the media about how all cops are racist and all this crap. And I remember I came in thinking, oh, I'm gonna change that, and I'm gonna be a light of change and all this stuff. And when I came in and I realized like cops are not all racist. They're the good people just trying to do a good job. And they're faced with you know extraordinary circumstances, and in the face of those extraordinary circumstances, they have to make decisions with courage and bravery and self-sacrifice. That's what impressed me most about most cops. I thought they were all, the media makes us believe that cops are this bad, racist, neo-Nazi people, and they're not. When I first came on, I was so like shocked about the difference in my ideologies and how, I was so wrong. I can't believe how wrong I was.
Yeah, growing up, I never had any negative contacts with law enforcement ever.
So
Even all the time, all the tickets that I got, I deserved the ticket, but I never had any negative contacts with law enforcement ever.
Yeah, it's true. Like as I was thinking about that, as my mind was being changed, I realized, yeah, everything I got a ticket for, I deserved. I was messing around in my car on my motorcycle, and I was doing stupid shit that could endanger other people's lives. Yeah. So, but they don't teach us that. They don't teach us accountability.
No.
And now, accountability is like something that's out the window now. No one's accountable now. At least that's the perception I get.
Yeah. Progressive liberals, woke left wings don't like the word no.
Yeah.
They don't like no because that means that there's you have to stop. There's a limit. You're violating somebody's rights by saying no, putting your foot down and drawing the line.
Yeah. Every time I remember, I've been accused of everything. You're stopping me because I'm Mexican. You're stopping me. One guy stopped me, told me, you're stopping me because I'm driving a nice car that you'll never afford. I'm like, oh, no, sir. Wow. You must remember that kid back there. You didn't stop for the red light. You didn't see the kid either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been accused of everything. Nothing. People don't want to accept that I messed up. They don't want to accept that, oh shit, I did something wrong. But yeah, I've been accused of everything.
We could be here for hours talking about all the stories that we've lived.
Yeah, I know. And I don't want to bore people with that.
Yeah.
Before we end it, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight? Do you think that's rigged, or do you think it's going to be a real fight?
Oof. That's a tough one, because if Mike Tyson was just even 15, 20 years younger, he would destroy Jake Paul. Especially Mike Tyson in his 20s, Jake Paul would probably be dead in 20 seconds. But now that he's 58, and regardless, Mike Tyson still looks strong. He still looks fast. But when you're 58, your body reacts differently to pain. Your body reacts differently to certain kinds of pressures. So I don't know. What do you think? You think?
I don't know who Jake Paul is.
Some YouTuber that just started getting into the MMA. The last, I want to say, 5 years he's been fighting.
Yeah, he's a YouTube influencer. When he was a kid, he used to make videos responding to video games, and he was really outlandish and screaming like a little girl and just going all wild and crazy. And he got really famous and rich off of doing that. Now that he's an adult, I think he's 27 years old now. But when he got into his 20s, he decided to pick up boxing, and he's a pretty, like, he's been trained by all the right people. He's not a small dude. He's a fit guy. But every time he's fought like a ranked boxer, he struggled. But whenever he fought like a nobody, then he worked them. But he's not bad. He's not a bad boxer. I just don't think he's on Mike Tyson's level. But I think Mike Tyson being 58 years old, what would you say to a 58-year-old world champion boxer fighting a 27-year-old novice? Do you think the age gap makes it more balanced, or?
No, not anymore. I think age is just a number.
Really?
Yeah. I know guys that are in their 50s that are just animals.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it's just a number.
So you think Mike Tyson's gonna?
Probably, most likely, yeah. That dude has experience. I mean, he's Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mike Tyson he's a beast. I want Mike Tyson to win just because, like, I think it's a little bit of an insult for this influencer, YouTube influencer, to even challenge Mike Tyson. That's like,
Yeah.
why would you go after greatness like that? And then to talk shit like I'm gonna put you down. And I understand it's for television, but I don't know. I think it's an insult to go after someone as great as Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I did this first. I hear of it, but I think he'll win.
Yeah, I hope so. I think
Yeah.
he'll win too. I think he'll be so medicated, with all the, you know, blockers, pain blockers and everything. He's not going to feel it. And he'll be able to, I think if it goes the distance, I think if it goes, 10, 12 rounds, I think he's going to win out. But I think Mike Tyson can take him in the first couple rounds. And I think he's got the skill set, the power, the strength to take him in the first couple rounds. But still, he's 58, man. That's
just a number.
Yeah,
58 is just a number.
Yeah.
You may be slower, you may be whatever, but you'll find ways to compensate.
Yeah. But I'm going to watch it. It's this Friday.
On Netflix. Netflix is streaming it for free.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to watch it. Yeah. So if you want to come over and watch it.
I'll watch it too.
Yeah. You have Netflix?
I do.
Okay, yeah. It's on Netflix.
All right, cool.
58-year-old Mike Tyson against 27-year-old Jake Paul. Is it Jake Paul or one of the Paul? One of the Paul brothers, because it's brothers, Jake and some other guy. Logan, yeah.
But it's Jake.
Yeah.
58's not old, bro.
No, I know, but it's not 21.
No, but it's not old.
That's true. I met Leslie. He was 91 and he was still boxing. Leslie was 91, still lifting weights and boxing at 91, dude.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I just hope Mike Tyson works him. Just because he challenged a great. Why would you challenge a great? It's like.
Yeah.
So let's see. But it's this Friday.
I'll come over and watch it.
Yeah, come over. we're gonna I'll have it here. I'll order pizza and wings.
All right, man.
All right, well, what time are we? Oh shoot. 45 minutes already. That's cool. Yeah. All right, hold on. I'm gonna say bye to our audience. You're ready to go.
Where's my Coke?
Deuces.
Where's my Coke? Dude?
Coca-Cola, not cocaine. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments, and myself or my guests will do our best to answer it. Thank you, and see you on the next one.